Hi there! In today's video I would like to share with you the whole process of drawing of my 3 illustrations on a Childhood Week challenge. First of all, I would like to thank an amazing artist, Blue, who created the challenge. Her works inspire me a lot. Fun fact, I signed up on the Patreon because I wanted to follow her. I really enjoy the content she makes. Thank you so much, Beatrice. You can see the themes of the Childhood Week event on the screen. The challenge was started during my vacation, so I decided to make 3 illustrations from the list only. The first theme is a song. I didn't have to think for long. The song I'm blue, came to my mind immediately. Every time I heard these words on the telly, I used to run and sit in front of it to look at blue aliens. I have recently found a video clip of this song on YouTube and watched it for the first time since 20 years. I took a screenshot to remember how the blue guy looks like and started with a sketch. I knew I wanted to show happy little me in front of the TV at that moment. The next step of my work with illustration is photographs for references. As a rule, I don't search them on Pinterest, I always pose myself. It makes me feel more confident because I know what result I want to achieve. I always turn on my phone's front camera timer for 5 or 10 seconds. And references are ready. From these 4 photos, I have chose only one. In my opinion, it shows the emotions better. Later, I made rough board. A rough sketch, the main reference of which is the short with a tele of 90s, the famous alien from music clip, Pic of Little Me. I used it as a reference for outfit and hair, and the last photo I picked for inspiration as a whole. At the beginning I drew a quick sketch for a pose and then started to work with the background. I turned on the perspective mesh in Procreate, which helped me with drawing the environment. After that, I continued to finalize the heroine of the illustration and some tiny details on the scene. The next step in creating the illustration is flat colors. What concerns the character, I took the color palette from reference with the little me on it. I had to go through with the rest. I knew exactly that I wanted to draw white tulle and blue curtains, which were hanging in our apartment when I was little. I also remember that we had a red carpet. And a tiny detail in this illustration is the small green teddy bear on the floor. My mom told me that I have never parted with this toy, even for a second. At this stage, I add volume to character and objects on the scene, trying to show the direction of the light. On the selected reference, which I added for the color palette, I was dressed in a turtleneck with my Mickey and Minnie. I really loved these characters. My mom even called me Ponochka. We used to call Minnie Mouse like that, and I have never heard that someone else has used this call for her. And do you know what? I googled and found some amazing information about this name. Ponochka is the Russian version of Webby from DuckTales. Webby like Webbykale. Just wow! My world will never be the same. Okay, let's return to the illustration. I was worked with girl's skin and hair. Then I returned to shadows and lights to emphasize the sunny weather outside the window. At the very end, I realized that I forgot to draw my mom's favorite plant, which we called bridge. When I look at the illustration, It seems to me that I am in the same one-room apartment that my parents had rented 20 years ago. I am absolutely satisfied how it turned out. For the second illustration, I selected the theme Grounded. The sketch is so dirty that you will probably hardly understand what is drawn there. At first I have drawn two girls on the sketch, but then I caught on an idea that I want to draw my childhood's best friend. For this topic I also took a couple of photos for references. I chose two of them and combined with each other to make characters fit well in size. And while you are watching me sketching and flat colors, I will tell you how the idea for this illustration appeared. The story is not for the faint-hearted, just wanted to warn you. All of you have probably seen a seal on the earthworm's body. As a child, we were sure they were pregnant and unable to give birth on their own. We thought the worms needed our help. So we used to cut them, opened, squeezed the insides out. We sincerely believed that we were helping them. I can tell you another abuse story of living beings. I heard it from Łukasz, the local teacher of Polish from the courses where I went to. As a child, when he and his parents came to a country house, he used to play with snails all the time. One day he got tired of them and realized that he couldn't stand them anymore as they were all around. Little Łukasz asked his older sister, "How do snails breed?" And she replied that they do this with the help of their eyes. He believed in this story and decided to correct the situation. He took the scissors and I think you probably guess what he did next. Yes, he has cut off snail's eyes. All this proves that children learn the world as best as they can and very often don't feel pity for animals. That is so sad. Sorry for the horror stories. You came here to hear about children's illustrations, so back to the process of creation. At this point, I have already started working with shadows to give volume to the characters and the environment. For the layer with the imitation of the shadow from the leaves, I used a layer overlay, multiply. I took purple color for it. Sometimes I use blue for these purposes, but I like purple more because it gives a warm hue. For the places where I want to show light on illustration, I also use a layer overlay, add in Procreate, but in Photoshop this overlay has different name, Liner Dodge. If you want to see more detailed breakdown of overlaying and how I work with it, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll make a short tutorial video with this topic. By the way, I have already finished this illustration on vacation without the internet and the opportunity to publish it. I also promised my friends and boyfriend that I wouldn't use my tablet on vacation and rather spend more time with them. I have finished drawing the illustration on this bridge while everyone was still sleeping, except my dog, of course. And here is the finished illustration. The third and final theme is splash. I chose my favorite photo with my mother for the topic. I decided not to add anything here and just draw everything as in the photo. In the sketch, the necks of the characters looked very funny. After taking a closer look at the reference, I got that I need to lower the heads down for a little. The photo was taken in Crimea. This is my first and, if I remember well, the last trip with my parents. They didn't have time to travel anywhere those years, but I saw the sea anyway. It was for the first time. I laughed out loud as they swam to the shore, and this moment was depicted in a photo by my dad. What else I remember about our trip? I was not feel well the way there because of motion sickness. So my parents drove at night when I was sleeping. Once we went swimming after a storm. I had braids all over my head. The seaweed got tangled into my hair. So my mother had to go to detangle it for several hours. It was very painful. There is a castle in Crimea called Swallow's Nest. One day, my parents drove closer to show me the castle, and I was looking for a real swallow's nest and could not understand where they were pointing their fingers. Only later, they explained to me that it was a building, and I was upset because I was attracted to swallows more than architecture. Let's go back to the illustration. When I finished drawing my mom's hair, I began to work with the background. As for the sea on the illustration, at first I took the colors from the photograph with an eyedropper. But then I understood that I wanted more positive and fabulous colors, such as in the Maldives. And therefore, I worked with the shades by adding a little green and azure colors. After that, I started working with layers of shadows and highlights, as in previous time using the blend mode. Little seaweed in my hair was the last thing I did. I keep forgetting about the plants in my drawing. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!